Welcome back, everyone. There's a reason we picked this setting, and you're about to find out why. I think all of us are aware of the fact that our planet is constantly under attack. That if we don't recognize that climate change is having a profound impact, not necessarily on our lives, but on the lives of our children and our grandchildren, we're ignoring something that I think is intricately important to us surviving as a species. So you drill down and you think to yourself, oh, okay, that's a problem in Antarctica. That's not a problem here in our community in Warren County, in Glens Falls, Greensbury. That's not a problem here. Well, you might be surprised to find out that there are things that you should probably be aware of, things that we can do as citizens in our community to really help preserve the quality of air and the quality of life, as I said, for our children and our grandchildren. And joining me today are two members of a very interesting organization called the Clean Air Action Network. This is Tracy Frisch, who's the founder. Welcome, Trace.
Thank you.
Very nice to have you here.
Yes, nice to be here.
And a guy that I met probably about 17 years ago.
At least.
I think so, right? This is Bill Binder.
No, it's Brender, not the blender.
But you are a blender, and we're about to find out why.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Okay. Who is on the board of the Clean Air Action Network? I always used to mess your name up, so that actually was a
Call me
trigger
Waring
from
for
wherever.
short.
So welcome, both of you. When we got the press release from you about the Clean Air Action Network, that was my first thought.
Yeah.
My first thought was, not in my neighborhood. What are
Yeah,
you talking
yeah,
about
yeah,
here? This is
yeah.
a problem someplace out there in Antarctica or something. Not true, right?
Right.
You uncovered something very interesting, you were telling me, long about 2011.
Right. Yes, I got contacted by someone I knew to say that the cement plant in the area, which is currently one of two in New York State, wanted to burn paper and plastic to reduce its fossil fuel costs. But the data showed that when they did that, there were spikes of dioxin, which is one of the most toxic
dangerous
chemicals, and it affects people in many ways. That was what affected the Vietnam veterans with Agent Orange.
That's right.
So they suggested that maybe I'd want to write some comments to the Department of Environmental Conservation because it was in a comment period. What did people think about this change in their air permit? So I contacted some friends and acquaintances, and we got about 40 comments into DEC, and we did a press release. And DEC actually said they made a decision that this cement plant could not burn this paper and plastic mixture without further study, more tests, because they were also concerned about the dioxin spikes.
Wow, what a start. Now,
so that was in 2011.
Also asked you to become part of like an advisory group
Right.
or something like that. Always mixed messages with something like that, let's be honest, right?
Yes.
Keep you close to monitor what you're saying, but also, in fairness, to give you the opportunity to highlight some of the things that they may not have set as a priority that you would set as a priority, correct?
Sure.
Okay, so moving now, that's how many years ago? 8 years ago or something like that?
8 years ago, 7 years ago.
All right, and on a sort of a consistent basis, right, Tracy? You and your friends and people like Bill who are interested in protecting our environment have been really following a series of things. Another one that comes to mind, Bill, is the incinerator plant. That showed up on your list of, hey, we should be more aware of what's going on with this incinerator plant. Tell me about that.
I was shocked to learn that they put out every year 290 pounds of mercury. And I can't remember the exact amount of lead they put out also. And these substances don't disappear from the environment. So when they go up in the stack, they're either coming down on poor South Glens Falls, or in the Saturday evenings when I smell the sulfur smell, it coming over me. I live on the east side of Glens Falls, and I'm concerned about, I wanted to move to a beautiful area like Glens Falls. I don't want to be concerned about toxins in my own backyard.
You know, you hear a lot about mercury poisoning. Just to give you a sense of what it is, if you took a mercury thermometer, now we're in Hovey Park right here, which could not be more beautiful, by the way. If we put a thermometer in this pond here, a mercury thermometer, it would kill every fish or make every fish in this pond unedible.
Again, that's the reason why you're not supposed to put your batteries into the garbage. You're not supposed to burn the batteries in your backyard. You need to recycle them.
That's right. So the incinerator plant, now, of course, people would say, well, what are you going to do with the garbage? You're going to just pile it up in my backyard? Like, what happens here?
Well, there's an approach called zero waste. It does not mean you have zero trash. It means you try to do something else with everything that would otherwise go to an incinerator or landfill. And this is usually done at the governmental level with a lot of citizen participation. So right now we've seen a decrease in recycling, a drastic decrease in recycling. People have learned how to recycle, they want to recycle, and now someone in our group was told, they were concerned in their apartment complex, they had their waste hauler come. The waste company told them, don't bother to recycle most stuff, we're only interested in metals now, because and they're taking the other stuff for incineration. Now we need to reverse that. The best way to create jobs in the waste arena is with recycling and composting, not with incineration.
Yes.
And we can drastically reduce. We can reduce the waste that goes to disposal by 50, 60, 70%.
Right.
And then it's not such a burden to go in a landfill. We could also take out the toxins, the household hazardous waste, like pesticides and caustic materials and other things that should not go in a landfill. And that's being done in many communities, not as aggressively as it should be done. So then you have a less toxic mixture of garbage. But when you burn it, you create many new chemicals that were never in the garbage to begin with.
Including the ash from the burning process alone.
Well,
right?
dioxin in the air, and the dioxin then becomes soluble and goes into our water, that we drink, goes into the Hudson where we drink. You have to be responsible. You have to understand this is the big cycle. We're in a little bubble here, and
you know, I remember clearly, and I'm sure many of you do too, that when GE agreed to help remove PCBs from the river over there, there's this wonderful thought that, oh, our community works, that we are conscientious about wanting to make our environment better. Now, like with anything else, it ebbs and flows. And this is the reason that your organization is so important. Because I think you were the one that said to me, continuous emission monitoring.
Exactly. Yes. At this point, we do not know what's coming out of these various industrial facilities. We do know, we have data from DEC and EPA that shows that most of the toxins are coming from these industrial facilities. But we only have this based on their own reports. They have a company come and test their stacks once a year when they want them to test.
When they want them to come.
Right, and they're not going to burn,
not on Saturday night.
The incinerator burns tons of tires.
That's right.
We don't know about these things. They also burn sewage sludge from Glens Falls, which I was informed, I have not had an opportunity to check out the minutes of the sewer commission or meetings or whatever, but which I was informed that an environmental agency told the city of Glens Falls that they could not burn in the incinerator. They had 5 years to clean up their act because there was so much mercury emissions. So now they're going, now
the
it's
pharmaceutical drugs that are dumped in the toilets.
Now it's going
to
the incinerator, and they're burning the mercury contaminated sewage sludge.
So, Bill, a question that I'm sure a lot of people are asking here. First, thank you for building awareness for this. Thank you for creating this organization, the Clean Air Action Network, so that there will be a place. Now, you're going to develop a website too, by the way.
Right.
What is the one single thing that we can all do as citizens?
One, again, if you smell something, I would notify either us or notify other organizations that are looking into the air pollution problem.
Got it. 2,
don't burn in your backyard. Encourage recycling, and ask the government to support recycling, support cleaning up. And again, we have to start with finding out what is in the emissions. We have to find out also what is in our soil, what is in our water. But we're going to stick with the air for right now.
Yeah, good. I think it's a good point.
And we're going to be we're going to be doing some petition drives probably. We're going to, in the very near future, I would say in the next few days, you'll be able to find our phone number online. We will get that together so that people will be able to contact
Good,
us
and
more
we'll
easily.
make absolutely certain that we make our viewers aware of that. Look, I want to thank you both very much. When we got this press release, it immediately caught Andrew's and my attention, and we thought, wow, in our own backyard.
Yes.
You know, it is so important that we just take the steps we take ourselves. You can't see it, but a family just walked here out on the dock here to fish at Hovey Pond. There's a girl there, it's probably about 7 years old, I would guess, judging from my granddaughters. And, you know, it's not for us, it's for her.
Yes.
And
yes.
let's just make certain that we're responsible. You know, my wife and I, when we go shopping, we lug those bags in, you know?
Yeah.
No
And
plastic bags. You know what I mean?
Most important thing is the fact that these heavy metals, doesn't matter how much is in the environment, it's going to affect it. There's no way to get rid of it.
Yeah.
So let's stop putting it into the environment.
Right, right, right.
Okay, good. We got to run.
Thank you so
Well,
much.
boy, thanks a lot. See this interview again. You can head to our website, looktvonline.com.